Ah, South Korea, the land of dreams where everything seems perfect. They tell you it's the home of K-pop, with flawless idols and choreographies so precise they could solve a math problem. They sell you their series and movies as masterpieces of global entertainment, which, of course, win awards, break records, and make us believe that Korea is the pinnacle of perfection. But wait, do you really think everything is as wonderful as it seems? Well, get ready, because this is where reality hits you right in the stomach. Behind those neon lights and colorful music videos, there exists another Korea, one that doesn't appear in Netflix series or BTS music videos. Did you know that poverty is so severe that many elderly people, yes, those who should be enjoying their retirement, end up forgotten, living in miserable conditions? And worse, some older women are forced to do degrading jobs that I wouldn't even dare to mention, just to avoid starving. But that doesn't make it to the screens, does it? And what about those marginalized neighborhoods? Those places where misery is so commonplace that even television prefers to look the other way. While you get excited about perfect romance scenes, there are people living a horror movie every day. But of course, that's not the Korea they want to show you. Stay tuned to this video, because we are going to peel away that mask of perfection and show you the dark side of South Korea. A side that few know, but one you won't be able to forget. South Korea is located in East Asia, occupying the southern half of the Korean peninsula. Its capital, Seoul, is an impressive mosaic of the old and the modern. Here you can find vibrant markets, historic temples, and a street food scene that delights both locals and tourists alike. But beyond Seoul, the country has natural wonders that you can't miss. On Jeju Island, you can find Halasan Mountain, an extinct volcano and the highest point in the country. This place is ideal for hikers and nature lovers. Among its main tourist attractions are the Seongpanak and Gwanumsa hiking trails, which offer spectacular views of the Bangnokdam crater, a lake at the summit of the volcano. To the west, the Yellow Sea, also known as the West Sea, is famous for its shallow waters and coastal marshes, which are home to numerous species of migratory birds. Nearby beaches, such as Daecheon and Urangni, are popular among tourists for their tranquil landscapes and opportunities for water activities. Now, let's travel back in time to discover the history of this fascinating country. South Korea has a history marked by invasions and conflicts, but also by an incredible capacity for recovery. From the Korean War to the famous Miracle on the Han River, the country transformed from a war-torn nation into an economic powerhouse. However, the miracle did not benefit everyone. Although South Korea is considered an advanced economy and one of the most innovative in the world, social inequality remains a persistent issue. Approximately 16% of the population lives in poverty, facing difficulties in accessing decent housing, education, and well-paying jobs. This gap between the rich and the poor has been portrayed in cultural works such as the movie Parasite and the series Squid Game, which starkly expose the realities of the most disadvantaged people. A tangible symbol of this inequality is the banjiha, semi-subterranean homes that became globally famous thanks to Parasite. These homes emerged during the 1970s as part of a government program designed to encourage the construction of shelters in case of military conflicts, given the constant threat from North Korea. To make them more attractive and functional, they were also allowed to be used as residences. However, over time, these affordable homes became shelters for low-income families who could not afford better options in the expensive South Korean real estate market. Living in a banjiha involves facing a series of challenges: poor ventilation, lack of natural light, constant humidity, and the risk of flooding. The windows, if they exist, are usually at street level, exposing residents to pollution and little privacy. Additionally, these homes, being partially underground, become death traps during heavy rains. This was painfully demonstrated in August 2022, when record rains hit Seoul, leaving many parts of the city submerged. In total, the floods of 2022 resulted in more than a dozen deaths and thousands displaced. These tragedies highlighted the structural and social failures that condemn the most vulnerable to live in dangerous conditions. Although authorities have announced plans to ban the use of banjiha as residences in the future, many families still rely on these homes due to the high cost of living in South Korea. This reflects a contradiction in a country that, despite its economic and technological progress, still has much to do to ensure a dignified life for all its inhabitants. These inequalities are also visible in the slums. The Gansum neighborhood, known for its colorful painted houses, has a fascinating origin. It emerged as an informal settlement after the Korean War, when many displaced people were looking for a place to live. The colorful walls were a community initiative to revitalize the area and attract tourism, making the neighborhood a popular destination. One of the most visited spots is the statue of the Little Prince, located at a viewpoint that offers stunning views of the city. On the other hand, the Guryong neighborhood, known for its shanties, represents the most extreme contrast to the so-called economic miracle. This settlement did not benefit from the country's growth, and today about 2,000 people live in precarious conditions without adequate heating or basic services. During the winter, the extreme cold endangers their lives, and the houses built with fragile materials barely protect against low temperatures. This neighborhood was formed in the 1980s, when authorities evicted communities for urban projects, forcing them to settle in abandoned areas. Since then, the residents survive with informal jobs and community support, facing each day with admirable resilience. Another issue affecting South Korean society is its birth rate. With the lowest birth rate in the world, many young people do not want to have children due to economic and social pressure. Additionally, women face machismo and domestic violence, which contrasts with the image of Koreans perceived as gentle due to their pop culture. This machismo is a deeply rooted cultural remnant in a patriarchal society that, despite its modern advancements, continues to limit women's rights. This has given rise to the 4B movement, created as a response to systemic sexism. This movement rejects marriage, children, and traditional relationships because many women prefer to focus on their careers and personal well-being, rather than facing cultural expectations that force them to sacrifice for the family. These tensions are also present in politics. A politician from Seoul blamed women for tragedies involving men, which sparked outrage. These statements reflect a country divided between tradition and change. But it's not just women who face difficulties. The elderly are also in crisis. South Korea has one of the highest suicide rates in the world, standing at an alarming 24.7% per 100,000 inhabitants. This issue particularly affects the elderly, who face social isolation and a lack of economic support, leaving them in a state of extreme vulnerability. Many older women, locally known as night grandmothers, resort to offering companionship in parks to meet their basic needs, a heartbreaking reality that reflects social abandonment in a country where the appearance of modernity contrasts with these harsh stories. These invisible lives highlight the inability of social welfare systems to care for the most vulnerable, leaving an indelible mark on the heart of society. Despite everything, the country remains a cultural leader. Productions like Parasite and Squid Game have conquered the world, showcasing not only entertainment but also social realities. At the same time, Otakus find in Korean pop culture a unique blend of tradition and modernity.